Told you we was giving you the okay back today to make a way. He gon' try to.
All right, we got Chris Cutta Classic. How you doing, man?
What's happening, man?
Man, appreciate you sitting down with us.
Man, it's all good. It's all love, man. We representing the 405, man.
Sure.
918, OKC.
580, but you know.
580, all of it, you know. It's all home, you know.
No doubt. How you been?
Man, I can't complain. I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm doing a lot of work. It's a new year. Got a lot of exciting projects. It's gonna be coming out this year, and so I'm just blessed to be doing what I'm made to do.
No doubt. I want to get into all that, but I feel like we got an opportunity to, kind of give some people some history that you got. So I kind of want to take it back and talk about some of that stuff first off. So let's just talk about like when you got into music. Something you've been doing since you were a little kid, basically, right?
Yeah, man, I've been doing music all my life. Started out, it's the cliche story, grew up in the church. My mother, she was pianist, vocalist, had me in the church. I started playing the drums in church, and that just kind of led to me just wanting to do more in music as a musician. But yeah, man, like I say, it's cliche, Started off in music all my life, walked in my first studio at 15 years old, and I haven't looked back since. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I walked in the studio. I wanted to turn knobs, be a producer. I used to want to be a rapper when I was first doing it, I used to run around with Young Star.
Mm-hmm.
And so we used to jump on the mic and do all kinds of, try to put some records down. But eventually, as time went by and I started really finding my purpose and what I really want to do as a musician, I started leaning more into producing and engineering. And I was blessed to be able to come up around some G's that have been in the music business for a while. Some of the dopest musicians out of Oklahoma, some of the dopest producers out of Oklahoma, some of the dopest artists. And so, like I said, right after high school, I jumped right on tour, and I ain't looked back since. So we almost 20 years in the game.
No doubt. So kind of talk about what you feel like. I feel like it's a different type of person that decides like, I'm not gonna chase the rap thing. I want to be a producer, because it's kind of more like behind the scenes type of role,
right?
To some extent. So what do you feel like kind of made you feel like that was the lane you wanted to be in?
I mean, I ain't never really been the one to chase the fame. You know what I'm saying? And so I always felt like you being an artist, you always in the forefront. You got to deal with certain things, as things that has to do with being an artist, being a superstar, just being an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? That was never really what I wanted to do. I was just kind of, when I was a teenager, it was fun. Mm-hmm. Popularity, But as you get older, you start to find out who you are, and I was like, okay, I don't want that, but I know what I'm good at. So I said, let me fall back and let me try to help the other artists, other people that want to be rappers. Let me try to help them with their sound. Let me try to give them the best production they can have, so they have a shot. Yeah.
So you were producing and stuff, like promoting stuff in high school, is that right?
Yeah, man. We started off. That's funny you said that. Started off as on a street team, just passing out flyers. Some people may remember Casanovas, Generations, Club Lexus, mm-hmm. Club 2000. We was just passing out flyers, just promoting parties and concerts at like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And while I was doing that, I had my own equipment at home, and I was doing beats. I would take my keyboard to school, and I would sell beat tapes. You know what I'm saying? I would sell $30 beat tapes at school at lunchtime until they banned me from doing that. So luckily, by the time I was in high school, I lived right across the street from where I was going, Putnam City original. And I lived right across the street, so I would have a line of people at my crib lined up on my steps waiting for their beat tapes. So that's where the hustle began at. It was like, okay, I can put 3 or 4, people don't remember cassette, a lot of people don't know what cassette tapes are nowadays. But I have 3 or 4 beats on a cassette tape, and I was selling those for like $30, $35. And I did that for 2 years straight.
So is that, you said, were you in school with Youngstar, or how did that?
Yeah, so Youngstar, Youngstar is pretty it's like my cousin, man. His mom is my godmom. You know what I'm saying? When he moved to Oklahoma City from Long Beach, California, that was like the first person I linked up with, and we just kind of, our energy, we just rock with each other. So that's fam. For
sure. So when you said when you went on tour out of high school, I assume it was with them, right?
Nah, actually, I was working with Polo.
Okay.
One of the he's one of he's one of the Oklahoma legends. Polo. He's probably one of the best artists I've ever had an opportunity to work with, as far as the MC and just the entertainer. He was signed with Southern Life Entertainment, which also included Kurt Dog, and a roster of other cats that was on that label. But he started doing regional tours, and that's when I just right out of high school. Maybe 2 weeks out of high school, we was moving around doing the Chitlin Circuit tours. So.
Okay, so around the South, basically.
Yep.
Okay. So what? I'm interested, kind of around that time, what the scene looked like as far as hip hop, and the facilities and everything were like. Just kind of what y'all were working with around. What year would you say around that was?
Man, this is like 2002, 2003. I'm a junior, senior in high school. The scene was a lot different. You had cats like Nitro, Young Fool, Bucket Load, Kurt Dog, Polo, and R&B group named Infamous. The scene was it was different. It wasn't now it's so many artists. It wasn't that many artists that was really out here doing a lot of street promotions. Shout out to Outlandish, you know what I'm saying, JK. So those, and Spider, Record Boy, Tony C, some of the forefathers of this market. We really had to get out here and get on these corners and pass out flyers, try to sell CDs. It wasn't the internet we wasn't even thinking about that. It was more so, you got to go touch the people. You got to go touch people. You got to get out in the community. Your face card had to be right. Your face card wasn't right, wasn't nobody really rocking with you. So it was a different time, but I think those times helped me personally, as far as what's going on as far as business in the music industry these days. You had to be able to socialize, you had to be able to talk to different kind of people, and had to be able to relate to different kind of people. It's communications at that point. So
almost like you're doing sales almost.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's hand-to-hand combat.
For sure. So was there a moment you feel like in that period where you realized like this is something I can do full time, like I'm not gonna need, you know what I mean? Like this is what I want to do the rest of my life type shit, or was it just kind of gradual?
I mean, it's lots of moments, because you have moments, like I said, when I walked in the studio, when I started working with Key-Tech, he locked me in a room for 3 or 4 days and just forced me to learn, some technical things as far as production. And once I got it, I was like, okay, I can do this, But you always have those times to where you be like, okay, do I really want to do this? Why am I doing this? It ain't really working out how I planned it. But you always have those moments. I still have those moments now. Like, those aha moments, like, okay, I'm doing what you're supposed to do. You walking in your purpose. You know, this is your calling. So, so to answer your question, I always have those moments. I don't think you ever stop having those moments. You know, I think if you stop having moments to where it's confirmation of what you're supposed to be doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So just kind of, is there anything in particular? Anything you can point to?
Okay, I'll say this. One moment I knew, first time I met Ye.
When you met Kanye?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time I met Ye. My guy Tony Williams was pulling into town, and he was trying to get some records done. He had some artists he was working with, so we got in the studio and we worked. And so as we worked, and he's telling me these stories, he's giving me information about what he had going on and who he's working with and who his cousin was, which is Ye. So we worked for a few weeks before I even met Ye. And I believe it may have been like Christmas time, holiday time. And he came down, and Tony was like, hey, come over to the house. So when I got to the house, Ye was there. Ye greeted me and was like, yeah, I've been hearing about you. Tony said you a dope producer. So I played him tracks and all that stuff. And then the next day he ends up, I believe that's right. The next day he ended up pulling up to the studio, and we played records, and we just kind of bounced ideas. Nothing really came of that situation, but it was just the fact that we was networking, we was vibing together. Oh, and we also listened to the Late Registration album.
That's nuts.
We listened to the whole album maybe twice, start to finish, front to back.
That was at Diamond, right?
At that time, it was Diamond. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard a story about that from Choppy. I heard he kind of intruded on that when he wasn't supposed to. He felt bad about it. But
oh yeah, the PTH. They was mad about that. They was like, we can't get into the studio, and I was like, yeah, man. I didn't say nothing, but I knew how important that moment was and how private it needed to be. And I love y'all, Chop. I know y'all mad. Y'all still mad about that, but we all good. It's still love. But yeah, I was watching them on camera. They was about to beat. Somebody up because he wouldn't let them in the door. So.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. That's crazy to me because I feel like a lot of people, that studio is back open now, and I feel like a lot of people going in and out there and don't really realize kind of the history of like what y'all built back in the day there. You know what I mean? That's a staple.
That's a staple. I mean, if you don't know the history, then you're really doing yourself an injustice. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, it's a lot of people that came through that building that paved the way for a lot of people that's over there working. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that's in this market, that's even in the business. That was the staple. That was the hub for the market.
No doubt. So I kind of want to run down the list of people. Obviously, you talked about Kanye, Jason Derulo, Killer Mike, Young Dolph, just a lot of Mozzie. And I'm sure, I'm missing a ton of people. We don't really even have time to name all the people you work with. Just kind of talk about, I feel like you're the go-to when people come into the city, to an extent, like they're coming to see you if they're making music, you know what I mean? So just kind of talk about how you feel like you got to that point, or like what that means maybe.
Well, what it means,
I mean, do you agree with that statement?
I mean, for sure. I mean, for sure, I agree with it to a certain extent. What it's a testament to is the work I put in and the time I put into it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happened overnight, and I still got a long way to go. I ain't done. You know what I'm saying? So it don't happen overnight. You got to put your time in. You got to put your work in, and you got to be dope. doing what you do. Because you can't, it's a lot of people that come in. I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people come and go. I've seen a lot of producers come and go. They hot for a minute, then they not hot no more. But if you put your work in, you put your time in, you network and you build good relationships with people, your face card is right, then nothing but positive can come from that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but positive can come from that. People remember you when they see you. I was just back in Atlanta last week, and people was like, "Man, where you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. We hearing about you. Let's work, let's build." And that's what I'm saying. Your face card got to be right. You're doing good business with people. You networking the right way. You building those relationships, man. It can't nothing but positive come from it. So that's all I would say. Put your time in, keep working, grind. Don't expect it to come overnight. And it's growing pains and all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like that is almost more, obviously the talent and the music side of stuff has to be right, but do you feel like that can take you kind of further almost if you're, if your relationships you build and stuff are right? Like,
yeah, you can suck and have the right relationship.
Yeah.
And you get in the door and you make you a lot of money. But for sure, your relationships mean everything. Who's speaking for you when you're not there?
For sure.
Who's representing you? Who's talking about you? You know what I'm saying? It's enough people already talking negative. But if you're doing something right, it's always going to be somebody talking negative about you. But how many people are talking good about you? You know what I'm saying? So that just comes with just building relationships.
No doubt. So I want to talk about T-Rail a little bit, just because I feel like recently I've been, he's not even from here, but he's kind of come and just, it's what it seems like on the outside. I don't really know him, but just kind of like he came here and just locked in with you and been here since, right?
Yeah, so T-Rail I met T-Rail through DJ3, Coalition DJs.
Okay.
And I'd heard about T-Rail. So, one day he was coming through the city. He was looking for somewhere to record. My guy DJ3, he hit me up, was like, "Hey, T-Rail trying to get in, lock in with him," And so from there, it was just kind of, we've been rocking ever since. He ended up linking up with Young Stove on the production, and that I was already working with Young Stove and just kind of doing some, just kind of mentoring Young Stove, as far as, what he's doing as far as on production, and you see where he at, you know what I'm saying? So I salute Young Stove, because, he makes me proud to see him flourishing like he is. But yeah, since we linked up the first time, he realized, okay, he can come down here and get a quality sound, some quality production. They got dope producers, dope studios. I can go down there and work, make my sound better, helps him build his brand. So we've been rocking ever since. I think we're about 2.5, 3 years in right now.
That's dope. So you posted something on your Instagram that you said you got a Grammy nod. So talk about did I misread that?
What do you mean?
On your Instagram, it was kind of vague. You just said a Grammy nod.
Grammy nod.
Yeah. So kind of talk about with Meant to Be.
Oh, okay. Right. Meant to Be. So I've been doing records with Meant to Be for years now. So I guess one of the records we did together got, I guess it was selected to go in for one of the nominations. Mm-hmm. Nomination for some Grammy. I don't know how far it went. A lot of times I don't really be paying attention to that shit. I just kind of work, and whatever happens, it happens. So, but yeah, you know, meant to be. They all, you know, they stay in the mix a lot. So, and they part of, you know, I think they part of the Grammy chapter for the region. So,
All right, so you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just kind of talk about the growth of like the artists, like the art scene in general. I mean, in Oklahoma, is not even music, just, you know, like the movies are being made here. And I know you worked on the Cat Williams movie, For the Love of the Money, right? You worked on the soundtrack for that?
yeah.
Okay. So just kind of in general, it feels like the entertainment industry is kind of coming up around here. So kind of talk about the growth you've seen in your career, at least.
Well, what I've seen from is there's number one, there's more artists, there's more creatives that's really out here working and, you know, doing what, you know, putting their, you know, trying to make their mark. With the cannabis industry and the film industry now in Oklahoma, it's allowing us to partner with different companies to, you know, produce our art and get it out to the world, you know, so it's grown tremendously. Like when you talk about For the Love of Money, we did that with my guy, Melvin Childs. I've been knowing Melvin, you know, I've been rocking with Melvin for years, you know, and that was his first movie he did, For the Love of Money. And shouts to him, you know, he was able to go pull together a collective, a cast that some notable names, you know, and we made it work, you know. So whatever he needed from me, I was like, let's do it, you know. It was his first film. So I think that's a legendary move to have that cast of people in one film. And he came to me and asked me to help him produce it, you know, mix some of the records, produce some of the records. And, you know, so that was a great deal. I think it's getting bigger. I think if we do some things as far as on the political side of things, if we can get some of the representatives to see the vision and see the culture of what we're trying to do in this market, I think it'll grow a lot faster.
You mean politics in like a literal sense?
Yes.
Okay, so speak on that a little bit.
I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, everything is about, it's money. Where the money gonna go? Everything costs. So we have elected representatives that want to do a lot with film and music and stuff, but may not be all the way involved into the business, may not be involved into the culture. So we're trying to build a bridge to where we can communicate, to where we can get funding for kids to come to workshops and schools and learn how to shoot movies, learn how to produce records, learn how to do some audio engineering, learn how to be a videographer, you know, learn how to use the camera. So in a lot of the major markets, the funding is there. You know, that's what keeps that city thriving, is because the money is there. They put money towards the arts. I think if we can adopt some of those same things here in this market, I think it'll grow substantially.
For sure. That's how the film industry is kind of coming about here, right? They've
Yeah.
got some legislation to kind of help them out as far as like
Right.
the taxes and stuff, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's cheaper to shoot movies here.
Yeah.
Plus, we got a rebate. We have a rebate program, so you can have a production company from Hollywood or Georgia come out here. They can shoot a film. It's gonna cost them less money to get some of the money back if they use local companies to help work on the project, whatever they're working on, whatever film they're working on. So it's creating jobs, you know, it's giving people experience to really get into the arts culture.
For sure. So do you feel like the financial backing is the biggest issue as far as like continuing growth? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's always going to be financial because, you know, it's a $1 billion business, so you got to spend some money. The other part is, who do you know? Relationships, networking is everything. If you don't know nobody, it ain't going to be a whole lot you can get done at a discounted rate. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely financial, but it's also relationships, networking, and then it's everybody being on the same page and putting together a team of people to move in one direction without having everybody trying to do their own thing. Mm-hmm. Unity.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Speak to that a little bit more if you don't mind, because I feel like that's a major thing as far as kind of for me at least, from what I see is like not pushing like one line, if that makes sense. Like everybody's just kind of, well, and I think it's getting better to an extent as far as like my age group of people, like to where even like within the last year or so, to where we were, like my age, it was kind of real divided. I feel like.
I think with your generation, it's getting a lot better. I think it's just a mindset of where we're from. Like if you go back, it was hard. It was hard for Oklahoma City people to work with people in Tulsa at one point.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That was almost unheard of. It was like, until this day, you know, there's still some energies around it, depending on who you're around. But it's just a mindset. If we can't champion each other in our own market, if we can't work with each other, if we can't rock with us, who else gonna rock with us? If we don't rock with, you ain't gotta like what I do. You ain't gotta even, it may not be your thing, but support it. Make it look like you rock with it. You know what I'm saying? If we don't do that for each other, then nobody else is gonna support what we're doing. They'll just come in and take, you know, they'll cherry pick, they'll take what they like from it and then go on about their way. You know what I'm saying? There should be no reason why somebody come into Oklahoma City and make, or Tulsa, anywhere in Oklahoma, and you clean up and you take home $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 every time you come, but you don't put nothing back into this community. You don't do nothing to help service you don't do nothing to help build our culture. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So we supporting y'all, put some money back in it. Now that just come with us being on one accord to set that standard. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can't go to Houston and do that. We can't go to Houston and do that. Can't nobody go to Houston and do that. It's checks and balances. Yeah. Everybody's held accountable. You can't go to LA and do that. You can't go to Dallas to do that. Somebody coming into the market, if we rocking with us, whoever coming in, we gonna rock with y'all, but y'all gotta rock with what we going on, or you can't come into the market no more.
Definitely.
So
what do you feel like, how do you feel like that is, could be like put into place?
I think it's happening. Like I said, it just takes the mindset, getting a few individuals that have the same mindset. We don't necessarily have to have the same vision, but your vision can be a part of my vision. It may not be all together, but as long as we're on the same and we can communicate, this is the goal, this is where we're trying to go, this is gonna help us this is gonna take us further, this is gonna change the way every creative in the market make money. For example, I was talking to a producer the other day, and I was telling him, like, man, you have an opportunity to set the bar on how artists does business with producers. In a sense to where it's like, you don't have to, you get online, you go get 10 beats, $25, whatever. But if you got somebody that's certified platinum, certified gold, and they undervalue, let me say it, in my eyes, they undervalue themselves and they set their price range. If they're the hottest producer at the time, they can set the bar. You know what I'm saying? They can set the standard on how artists deals with producers, on what the expectation should be. And that just it trains the mindset of, we can't keep half-stepping, because this business costs. And I just like, say you the #1 podcast, you the #1 videographer in the market, and you setting your rates cheap that anybody can, there's no standard, you know what I'm saying? You undervalue yourself. So if you set the bar, now it trains the whole market to say, okay, this is what we need to have. Now, how does that help? Everybody makes more money. Now that everybody's making more money, there's more money to be circulated within the culture, more money to be circulated within this business, and it helps thrive. It helps build everything. So that makes sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And actually, I kind of had an epiphany. I don't want to, that makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha, yeah. So that's what I feel like, you know, and sometimes it's just having the conversation with somebody just to give, you know, just, hey, check this out. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Because now you in a position to change it for everybody. But you have to recognize it. And if somebody recognizes that, instead of hating on them and, you know, instead of undercutting them, hey, try this. Because if you do this, you know, people follow that. Now you help everybody. So that's why I think my purpose is right now, man. It's just to kind of help keep people gamed up. I don't know everything. I'm still learning. But when I see things, I think that's my purpose now, is to really speak up on it and try to help people change the mindset. That way we can grow. We can grow a little faster. You know, everybody think we 5 years behind. We're really not. But the mindset is.
Yeah.
We have the same tools that everybody else has. We can go live to the world just like everybody else in any other market. We just gotta make it look, we gotta make it look like this is us, this is what we doing, we rocking with us. You ain't got to, but this is what we on.
Definitely. So kind of just touch on, I know you said you got a lot of stuff planned this year, just kind of touch on what we can be on the lookout for. So
I'm gonna be producing records for a lot of people. You know, I got a lot of people calling my phone right now. So engineering, mixing records, producing records, more movies, you know, got a few films I'll be working on. I'll probably be doing some sound design. I'll probably be scoring a few movies, just doing what I do. You know, the playbook works. It's just now we got to get, it's building the team, getting the right, like you're saying, changing the mindset of people to where this is what we're doing. You have opportunities to be a part of it. Let's all get on the same page and go get what we deserve.
Definitely. Is there anything in particular that you wanna plug or anything? I mean, is there anything you can give me as far as?
Let me see. I think there may be, I think there's a record that, we got coming with Kevin Gates here pretty soon. So we just gotta work out some business on it. Mm-hmm. Once the logistics get in play, I think that can, that's gonna be something dope for this year. There's some films I really can't speak on because I just can't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would say whoever really want to work, and they can, we can meet each other. We can at the same level. We can look each other in the eye, and we can work at this, because I'm doing a lot of things. It's a lot of things I can't do anymore because I'm just not operating at that level anymore. Mm-hmm. So if you understand that, I'm open to working with any artist. You just got to be ready for the moment. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready for what's going on, to what I'm doing.
For sure. Well, man, I appreciate you taking time out to sit down with us. I definitely think there was a lot of stuff in here that I hope people hear. You know what I mean? Because I enjoyed the conversation for sure. Hopefully we can do it again sometime in the future.
Man, anytime, whatever you need, man. I'm rocking with y'all. I like what y'all doing at Season. I like what y'all doing with the Clubhouse. I think that's perfect. That's a staple. Y'all in the neighborhood. Y'all set up a neighborhood where I grew up at. So to me that's lovely. I never would have thought that would be going on in the neighborhood. Yeah. So it kind of opened my eyes. Okay, what's possible? What else can we put over there? There's a lot of talent just right in that one little area right there, and that just gives people, some of them kids over there that really ain't got nothing to do now. They can start thinking about doing other things because it's right in the hood.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. Well, like I said, thank you, and until next time.
Yo, what's happening? This is Cutta Classic, your super producer and recording engineer out of Castle Rock Studios, and I'm giving you the okay.